This morning for you on Daybreak, cold weather is here. It's a little wet out there as you get moving too. We'll have an update on some road conditions for you.
And a new bill may soon be updated to protect those living with HIV. Good morning and thanks for joining us on this Thursday and starting your day with us. Today is December 3rd. I'm Jennifer Abreu.
And I'm Joe Morano. A lot to get to here this morning. Weather, the main thing if you have to get out on the road early today, right?
Yes, I was a little bit concerned, but for our commute earlier this morning, it was just a little rain for me. But Nija was in about maybe an hour later and she said she saw some flurries, TJ. Is that what we're seeing right now?
Yeah, and I peeked my head outside our station doors here just a little bit ago before daybreak began. And yeah, it was actually coming down. So the flakes were pretty big, kind of coagulating. It looked like cornflakes, you know, briefly out there.
What a reference.
Right? You just kind of get that image in your head. You know? Now I'm hungry.
Now I want some.
Nigel's out on the roads now. We'll check in with her in just a minute, but we want to know, I mean, everyone wants to know, where's this going to go? Is it going to stick around all day? What are the details here?
It's not looking too bad. Really, not a huge impact for us, guys, which is great. You know, we do have this upper level low that has been bringing the impacts to our west, Kansas, northern Oklahoma. That's where the snow was a bit more prominent, better accumulations out that way. We've been on the warmer side of this storm system the entirety of the time, haven't gotten those winds back around from the northeast higher up aloft or at the surface, so we have not tapped into that cold air, and we're really not going to. It's cold because of all the cloud cover, and we have been able to see some snow at temperatures that did cool through the overnight. Still have some of that snow falling right now across the Ozarks and across the Color 10 viewing area. A lot of it's falling in the form of rain, but seeing some more snow just to the west of Greene County, going to try and move back into the Springfield metro, but the bulk of it has been falling across Webster, Wright, Texas, down toward Howell County. We've seen some of that snowfall here this morning, really along Highway 60 eastward. That's where we've seen it falling, and a little bit moderate to even heavy at times, seeing that along a Highway 63 there in Houston. So that's where we have that best shot of seeing some minor accumulations. Going to be patchy. You could have some slick spots maybe on less traveled thoroughfares, but many of us not going to see it because temperatures are milder. We're above freezing. If we were in the 20s and 30s, it'd be a different story, but we are above freezing throughout the entirety of the area. Close though in Springfield and Branson, just a couple to a few degrees above it. It does feel worse like the 20s and 30s when you factor in that wind. You're going to need the wipers for sure because we're going to have that on and off rain as we head through the day. I think we'll still see some improving conditions. We'll talk more about it and of course have the latest on the roads in just a bit. Guys?
All right, thank you very much, TJ. The weather coverage is what's new this morning as well, as we're watching out for the roadways.
And as we told you, our Nija McDonald is out on the roads in Springfield driving around right now. She has an update on our morning commute. Nija, good morning. Where are you and what is it looking like out there right now?
Yeah, well, good morning, Jen and Joe. We're actually on Kearney Street right now, and the roadways are wet. It seems like it's sprinkling just a little bit, but other than that, it's pretty clear here. As you guys mentioned, this is the first kind of wintry weather that we've experienced this season. So today would be a good idea to just kind of go through the process of what that might look like for your morning commute. So I would recommend giving yourself some extra time as you prepare to head out this morning to go to work and school. When you're on the roadways, make sure that you're mindful of other drivers as well, giving yourself enough space between you and the car ahead of you. This is also a good opportunity to make sure that you have that winter kit in your car should you experience any type of breakdown or you need to scrape those windshields in the morning. So today I would say it's just a good opportunity to just use this as a kind of pre-day for our wintry weather season. Again, just wet roads this morning. Should be an easy commute as you head to work and school. We'll check in with you guys in about 30 minutes. We're reporting live in Springfield. Nija McDonald, Ozarks First.
All right, Nija, some good tips there. Thank you. We'll check in with her in a little bit. Moving on now to some more news from around the region. A house east of Springfield was engulfed in flames yesterday. No reports of injuries, though. The call for this fire came in at about 3:45 in the afternoon. Logan Rogersville is running command, but Stratford, Springfield, Battlefield, and Ebenezer were all there to help out. In the time that our crews were out there, there were about 20 fire trucks to bring in water. Stratford Fire said they are not sure the cause of this fire yet.
Moving on to some political coverage. Currently, there are around 30 states in the country where you can go to prison for up to 15 years if you knowingly transmit HIV to another person. Missouri is one of those states, and lawmakers and activists are actually trying to amend this 40-year-old bill, which was created in the 80s when there were very few treatments or preventions for HIV to keep up with current science and medical advancements. We spoke with a man who has been convicted and went to jail because a person in his past relationship. He said he didn't fully disclose his HIV status, even though he did mention it and was taking proper medical precaution to make sure he didn't transmit it to anyone. He's been living with HIV since he was 24. That relationship eventually ended, and the person felt it was necessary to press charges against him for not disclosing that HIV status. He was convicted in 2009 and spent 6 months in a Louisiana prison. The current Missouri HIV criminalization bill has the same language as the one that person had encountered in Louisiana. Right now, the bill states anyone who knowingly transmits to another person can be charged with criminal offenses, even if they are taking precautions to prevent it.
A person's living with HIV, their status is sort of being used as a way of sort of holding something over their head in a way of sort of twisting that person's arm to, to bend to whatever. So it doesn't serve us living with HIV to be subjected to these criminal laws, which further stigmatizes us and demonizes us. So this is very dehumanizing experience.
This new Missouri bill will apparently amend the language to include all comparable diseases, not just HIV, adjust criminal penalties as well, and reflect the current science and medical abilities to prevent transmission. We've got more information about that on our website for you.
5 Springfield City Council seats will be on the ballot in April, and one incumbent says she will not run again. Phyllis Ferguson said in a Facebook post that she will not seek re-election, and she is sorry more hasn't been done to deal with nuisance properties and dangerous buildings in Zone 1, the area she has served for more than 5 years. In addition to Ferguson's Zone 1 seat, these seats are also up for re-election in April. Zone 4, currently served by Matt Simpson. General Seat A, currently held by Jan Fisk. General Seat B, held by Craig Hosmer. And the mayor's seat, held by Ken McClure right now. Those interested in running have to submit petitions to the city clerk between December 7th and January 19th of 2021. In our coronavirus coverage this morning, state officials say hospitals in Missouri are running out of room to treat patients. Governor Parson says the state is preparing for a potential surge in hospitalizations this winter. Parson says Missouri has already done everything they can at the state level to help with staffing challenges. So now the state is partnering with a national healthcare company called Vizient, and they will bring up to 760 additional healthcare workers to Missouri, such as nurses and respiratory therapists, and they will help hospitals across the state.
When fully deployed, this will add nearly 600 total beds to our statewide bed capacity, including some critical care beds.
The state's new partnership with Vizient will allow rapid deployment of staff to support additional hospital capacity in all regions of the state.
Parson says this partnership will go through February, but could go longer if needed. It will be paid for by the state through CARES Act funding until the end of the year. Governor Parson also waived regulations allowing nurses with licenses from outside of Missouri to work here in the state.
Snow and rain has been falling across the Ozarks to kickstart our Thursday morning. Our Daybreak Live Drive showing some of that wet roadway action out there. The good news is we're not seeing a lot of places inundated with snow, but the possibility of some slick spots is still on the table, especially when we get through the morning commute. We'll have the latest on that and when we start to see that sunshine return coming up in just a few minutes.
From Color 10 Ozarks First, Jennifer Abreu, Joe Morano, and weather with meteorologist TJ Springer. This is Color 10 News Daybreak.